Take your children and leave here right now. In Canada in 1980, the cold wind was biting. 32-year-old May Musk stood outside the door with her 3 children. Her husband's roar drew the neighbors around them, and quite a few people gathered nearby, watching coldly and waiting to laugh at her. Someone sneered,
"A divorced woman with 3 children? What future could she possibly have?"
May heard it, but she did not argue. She simply held her children tightly, turned around, and walked into the wind and snow. That night, she took her 3 children and moved into a shabby little apartment. The house let in the wind, and the room was simple and bare. But the mother and children still gathered together, eating simple wild vegetables and oatmeal porridge. May told herself in her heart she had already hit rock bottom, and things could not get much worse than this. Once, young Elon looked at everything so simple and poor in the home, and could not help asking her,
"Mom, why are we so poor?"
May's heart ached, but she did not sigh, nor did she complain. She simply took the children to the window, pointed at the night sky outside, and said,
"Look, the stars do not go out just because of the darkness. The difficulty we are facing now is only a small cold in life."
That night, Elon may still have been young and may not have understood all of his mother's words, but he remembered that scene forever. Later, whenever his life fell to rock bottom, he would think of that starry sky his mother had pointed out to him. His daughter Tosca was once mocked by her classmates for wearing an old dress, and her eyes turned red with grievance. She lowered her head and asked her mother,
"Mom, am I embarrassing?"
May did not blame her for being weak, nor did she tell her to swallow her anger. Instead, she smiled, straightened the hem of her daughter's dress, and said,
They do not understand. This is our one-of-a-kind limited edition. Other people do not have it, not because you are inferior, but because they are jealous of you.
With just one sentence, she pulled her daughter back from feelings of inferiority. May's education was never about raising her children in a greenhouse, nor was it about making them learn to bow their heads in poverty. Instead, at the hardest times, she taught them to lift their heads. She always respected her children's passions. Elon was obsessed with computers, and she did not stop him. Even when life was difficult, she still did her best to support him in learning. Tosca wanted to make films, and when others mocked her dream as unrealistic, May stood behind her and comforted her.
Failure is not frightening. What is frightening is that from then on, you no longer dare to try.
More importantly, she lived this way herself. When her career hit a bottleneck, some people disliked her because of her age and said she would never have another chance. But May did not admit defeat. She continued working, continued fighting for opportunities, and continued living as someone full of light. Through her actions, she told her children, age is not a limitation, poverty is not the ending, and divorce is certainly not the end of life. Later, Elon Musk sent rockets into space and brought Tesla to the world. Tosca and Kimball also lived out their own value in their respective fields. And May herself did not remain trapped in that failed marriage. She stepped back onto the fashion stage and lived as a confident, elegant, and radiant woman. Many years later, people finally understood that what May taught her children was never just knowledge from books, but a kind of refusal to admit defeat engraved deep in their bones. She let her children know, poverty is not frightening, failure is not frightening, and being looked down upon by others is not frightening either. What is truly frightening is admitting defeat first, giving up first, and no longer daring to be yourself. The best education parents can give their children is not necessarily how much wealth they provide, but that even in the hardest times, they still teach their children to hold their heads high, persist in what they love, and believe in themselves.